Well, good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television this Wednesday morning, where we get you stories that you might have missed during the night and also the news stories that are likely to unfold during the course of the day today. My name is Aishwarya, and here are the headlines. Assembly elections in Nagaland will take place as per schedule, says the state chief electoral officer. Several political parties and tribal bodies had earlier said that they will boycott 27th of February polls. Election notification in the state and Meghalaya to be issued today. General budget for 2018-19 to be presented in Parliament tomorrow. Finance Ministry to conclude a budget exercise today. Economic Survey says agriculture, education and employment to be the key focus areas. First Khelo India School Games to be launched by Prime Minister today in the national capital. 1,000 athletes from under 17 category to get yearly government scholarship of 5 lakh rupees for 8 years. Prime Minister says aim to make India a great sporting nation. Sharat Kamal wins a national table tennis title for 8th time. Sutirtha Mukherjee backs the women's title. In Indian Open boxing, Mary Kom and Shiv Thapa assure medal with the entry into the semi-finals. And after beating Pakistan in the semi-finals, India to take on Australia in the Under-19 World Cup final on Saturday. And first time after 150 years, a rare triple lunar spectacle. A blue moon, a blood moon and a super moon can be witnessed this evening today. Our top focus this morning, notification for the assembly elections to Meghalaya and Nagaland will be out today. With this, the process of nominations will begin. Now, while the last date for filing of nominations is the 7th of February, scrutiny of nominations will be held on 8th of February and the last date for withdrawal of candidature is 12th of February. The two northeastern states will go to polls on 27th of February and counting of votes will be held on 3rd of March. Term of Meghalaya and Nagaland is ending on 6th and 13th of March respectively. The two assemblies have 60 members each. And amid political uncertainty in Nagaland, the state chief electoral officer has reaffirmed that the 27th of February polls will happen without any change in schedule as it is not affected by joint declaration by several political parties. Remember, the BJP on Tuesday had backed out of a joint declaration which was signed by political parties in the state for not contesting the assembly polls. However, the final decision on the matter will be taken up by the party's central leadership. The party also suspended its state executive council member, Keto Sempati, who had signed the joint declaration on Monday. Earlier in the day on Tuesday, Minister of State for Home Kiran Rijiju appealed to the parties not to boycott the polls. In a series of tweets, Kiran Rijiju is also the BJP's election in charge for Nagaland asserted that the government was bound by the constitutional process of holding elections. Representatives of 11 political parties, including the Nagas People's Front, the BJP and the Congress had on Monday declared that they will not contest the assembly elections. The declaration came following a meeting in the capital Kohima of tribal civil society groups and civil societies who've been pressing upon the centre to find a solution to the peace process before holding the elections. And today is the last date for making nominations for the Tripura Assembly polls. The scrutiny of nominations will take place tomorrow and the last day for the withdrawal of candidature is 6th of February. Voting in the state will take place on 18th of February and the counting of votes will take place along with Meghalaya and Nagaland on 3rd of March. Tripura also has a 60-member assembly and its term ends on 14th of March. And to the other top story of the day, Union Budget will be presented tomorrow. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley along with his team will give finishing touches to the budget today. And in the budget, he will unveil the government's disinvestment target for the financial year 2017. Now, analysts expect the government will increase its asset sale target substantially this year. Kriti Mishra looks at the reasons for this.
The government is inching closer to its disinvestment target of 72,500 crore rupees in the current fiscal. Bolstered by the nod to disinvestment in the current financial year, the government may raise the sale-off target for the next financial year. The remarkable response to disinvestment demonstrates the belief of domestic and overseas investors in the growth story of India and reforms being undertaken by the union government across various sectors. Experts feel the government may raise the sale-off target by 40% to 1 lakh crore rupees in the upcoming budget.
ETF route, then there are other route where you can sell the minority stake in PSUs. So I think even 1 lakh crore would be easily achievable. Seeing that 72,500 crore was the target in 2017-18, I believe that maybe the disinvestment target in the new budget could be more than 1 lakh crore.
The government has already cut additional borrowing target from 50,000 crore rupees to 20,000 crore rupees for this fiscal, indicating an improvement in government finances. This has calmed some of the fiscal worries too. Economists, however, favor aggressive disinvestment to achieve a fiscal deficit target of 3.2% of the GDP.
It's a reform in the economy, in the sense that you allow more private sector to operate in the commercial world rather than the government operating itself. Carryover items, as I say, railways, public sector units may get listed. Disinvestment may happen from that. Government would get a lot of money from that.
Of the total disinvestment of 72,500 crore rupees that was budgeted for the current fiscal, 54,337.60 crore rupees or 74.94% was achieved till January 11th. The government is eyeing to end this fiscal with record disinvestment receipts of over 90,000 crore rupees on the back of an expected HPCL ONGC deal. It is likely to be finalized by March and may raise over 30,000 crore rupees for the government. Last fiscal, the disinvestment goal was underachieved by 14,253.42 crore rupees or 25.22%, with revenues coming in at 42,246.58 crore rupees against the targeted 56,500 crore rupees. Robust aids for the assets are expected in the next fiscal as well. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
And with the stock markets zooming to new highs, Chief Economic Advisor Arvind Subramanian has warned that elevated stock prices could correct sharply if they are not backed by growth. Now, growth is expected to be 6.75% in the current fiscal from 7.1% in 2016-17. The benchmark's BSE Sensex had zoomed 233 points to reach a new record on Monday after the Economic Survey said that India will become the world's fastest growing major economy, with its GDP expanding by 7 to 7.5% in 2018-19. On Tuesday, however, Sensex closed nearly 250 points. Subramanian said that there has been convergence in price earnings ratio of the Indian and the US stock markets in the last couple of years. Sustaining these valuations will require future economic growth and earnings in line with the current expectations. On to some other news now. India has jumped to the 30th position in a supercomputer facility from the 368th position. Now, this has been made possible by the high-performance computer system Mihir, which was inaugurated on Tuesday by Science and Technology Minister Harshvardhan. This supercomputer will improve weather forecasts to predict extreme weather events like cyclones, droughts and floods. It will also provide tsunami forecasts with a greater lead time. Now, these forecasts will prove to be extremely helpful to farmers in day-to-day agricultural operations like sowing and irrigation. Speaking exclusively to Rajya Sabha television, Science and Technology Minister Harshvardhan said that the supercomputer will immensely help India's farming community. The minister also said that the national mission on desalination is also on the anvil to meet the water requirements of the farmers.
You have dedicated this supercomputer to the nation. And in terms of high-performance computer system, India was earlier ranked around 368th position out of 500 countries. Now it has jumped to the 30th position. How did this drastic change come through?
This total facility of the country has become 8 petaflops, and now in terms of using this facility only for weather forecasting and cyclones and other assessments that the Ministry of Earth Sciences does for ocean studies, earthquakes and a lot of other, you can say, activities, we have now become 4th in the whole world.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has set the target of doubling farm income by 2022. And you have set the target of reaching out to 45 million farmers with information of better farming techniques and also weather forecasts. What progress has been made on that front?
Significant progress has been made from a few million to almost 24 million now. We are, through a text message, helping 24 million farmers in this country to strategize how they go ahead with their farming activities. And this small information that our earth sciences people give to the farmers, and based on that, what they plan for their farming, it produces a positive impact of 50,000 crores in the GDP of India.
On 1st of February, Union Budget would be presented. Your expectations as far as the Ministry of Science and Technology is concerned?
The Prime Minister has a very strong passion for science. I will also expect good things to happen for science and technology through the budget.
On to some other news, the Centre and the Asian Development Bank on Tuesday signed a $250 million loan agreement to finance the construction of roads in Assam, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and West Bengal. Now, the loan would be utilized to construct 6,254 kilometers of all-weather roads in 5 states under the Prime Minister's Rural Roads Program. The first tranche of loan is a part of the $500 million Second Rural Connectivity Investment Program for India, approved by the ADB board in December last year. Time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news.
Hello and welcome to the National Elections Quiz 2018.
6 teams from South Zone,
Andhra Pradesh,
Puducherry,
Karnataka,
Tamil Nadu,
Kerala,
from Telangana,
fight it out for the finale.
So I need the name of a 172-year-old Government of India body.
Some hits, some misses.
And Kerala with 5.
Election Commission of India presents the National Election Quiz 2018. Watch the second semi-final Sunday at 9 AM and 3:30 PM.
Union Budget 2018-19.
ये बजट देश की तेज गति से आगे बढ़ रही अर्थव्यवस्था को एक नई ऊर्जा देने वाला, देश के सामान्य से सामान्य मानवी की आशा अपेक्षाओं को परिपूर्ण करने वाला बजट आएगा.
Will it be pragmatic or populist?
मोदी जी का जो आजकल जो चल रहा है रुख, वो प्रो पीपल है, प्रो कंट्री है.
हमारी सेविंग होएगी तो जितना हम और खर्चा करेंगे तो गवर्नमेंट को और आमदनी बढ़ेगी.
पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स में व्हीकल के ऊपर डेप्रिसिएशन अलाउ नहीं होता, वो डेप्रिसिएशन अलाउ होना चाहिए जो कि कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर को होता है.
The central government, it should be allocating the budget according to the needs and requirements of the citizens of the country.
सरकार हम जैसे लोगों के लिए टैक्स के फ्रंट पे कुछ सोचे.
Watch Rajya Sabha TV special shows for good and simplified coverage of the budget.
Spread over 5 days, where we'll crunch the numbers and tell you how they affect you. Live updates, highlights and analysis. At these timings, only on Rajya Sabha TV. What is a finance bill? This contains the government's proposals for levying new taxes and modifying the existing tax structure or even continuing the existing one beyond the period approved by Parliament. It is submitted to Parliament along with the budget.
Welcome back after the break. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has warned of strict action against the perpetrators of violence and said that those indulging in anarchy will not be spared. Now, his remarks came after days of violence in Kasganj, where clashes broke out last Friday, in which one person was killed and 2 others were injured. As many as 118 people have been arrested in connection with the violence. Now, talking to media persons in Lucknow, Yogi Adityanath said that the state government is committed to provide security to each and every citizen. The centre has also sought a report from the UP government in connection with the Kasganj violence in the state. The state government has also been asked to provide details about the steps taken to punish those involved in the violence.
देश के हर नागरिक को सुरक्षा प्रदान करना, इसके लिए हमारी सरकार पूरी तरह प्रतिबद्ध है। उत्तर प्रदेश में भ्रष्टाचार और उत्तर प्रदेश में किसी भी प्रकार की अराजकता के लिए कोई जगह नहीं होगी। भ्रष्टाचारी और अराजकता फैलाने वाले तत्वों के साथ सरकार बहुत सख्ती के साथ निपटने का कार्य करेगी।
And the government is going to undertake a national survey to eliminate the practice of manual scavenging. The union government will begin a national survey to determine how many people still work as manual scavengers, and this survey will be done by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and Niti Aayog through a task force in 164 districts of 18 states in the country. Under this survey, people connected with unhealthy toilets will be identified and made self-reliant. Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment Thawar Chand Gehlot said that this kind of survey is not possible without the cooperation of all the states. At present, approximately 13,000 people are involved in the practice of scavenging in 13 states of the country. And Home Minister Rajnath Singh has targeted Pakistan for continuously violating ceasefire despite giving assurances. He said that Pakistan, being a neighbour, should have a friendly attitude towards India and should not misinterpret India's decency. He also added that the fencing of the Indo-Pak border was underway at a rapid pace. Pakistani shelling along the border in Jammu and Kashmir has increased over the past 2 weeks. 14 people, including 8 civilians, have been killed in the shelling since 18th of January.
पाकिस्तान की तरफ से बराबर सीज फायर वायलेशन हो रहा है, लेकिन ज्यादा कुछ न कहते हुए इतना ही मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि हमारी विनम्रता और शालीनता की पराकाष्ठा रहती है। हम सभी के साथ अच्छे रिश्ते बनाकर रखना चाहते हैं, पड़ोसियों के साथ भी अच्छे रिश्ते बनाकर रखना चाहते हैं। हमारी इस शालीनता का गलत अर्थ नहीं लगाया जाना चाहिए। भारत अब कमजोर भारत नहीं रहा है, भारत अब ताकतवर देश बन चुका है।
And the MEA has rolled back its decision to issue passport with orange color jackets to ECR holders. Ministry of External Affairs has decided to continue with the current practice of printing of the last page of the passport and not to issue a separate passport with orange color jacket to ECR passport holders. The decision was taken by External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj on Tuesday at a meeting after a discussion with various stakeholders in this matter. The ministry has received various representations requesting to reconsider its earlier decisions in which it had decided not to print the last page of the passport booklet. It had also decided to issue a passport with orange color jacket to the passport holders with ECR status. A top international focus, US President Donald Trump has touted the strong American economy in the first State of the Union speech. In an address to the Congress, Donald Trump took credit for US economic gains in the past year, declaring that his administration's policies on jobs, deregulation and national security have spurred a new American moment. The Republican president used the televised speech to tout the benefits of a tax overhaul approved by the Republican-controlled Congress in December last year. That was his first major legislative victory. Donald Trump also spoke of an immigration plan that protects Americans of every background, color and creed. His comments came as Republicans and Democrats are deeply divided over the issue of immigration, with lawmakers facing a 8th of February deadline to reach a compromise on the issue and pass a new budget measure to avoid a second government shutdown. The president also talked about gains made against Islamic State terrorist group, while conceding that there remains much more work to be done to win that fight. President Donald Trump's address comes even as he battles a probe into his campaign's alleged ties with Russia and struggling to sell Americans on his leadership abilities. Massachusetts Congressman Joe Kennedy III, a great-nephew of President John F. Kennedy, will deliver the Democrats' response.
I call upon all of us to set aside our differences, to seek out common ground, and to summon the unity we need to deliver for the people. This is really the key. These are the people we were elected to serve. We have created 2.4 million new jobs, including 200,000 new jobs in manufacturing alone. Great news for Americans. 401k, retirement pension, and college savings accounts have gone through the roof. And just as I promised the American people from this podium 11 months ago, we enacted the biggest tax cuts and reforms in American history.
And get ready for a rare lunar event, a supermoon, blue moon and a total lunar eclipse. All of this will be seen at the same time this evening in most parts of the world. A lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, the earth and the moon are so aligned that for a period of time the moon passes through the shadow of earth in space. During a total lunar eclipse, the moon takes a reddish copper hue. However, it is also a blue moon this time. This full moon occurs twice in a calendar month. Though the moon does not turn blue, but the second full moon of a calendar month is termed as a blue moon. The lunar eclipse today will be even more spectacular because during the eclipse this time the moon will be near its perigee and hence it will look larger than an average full moon and is termed as a super moon. In India, the country's first viewers will be from the northeast who will be able to witness this event between 4:21 p.m. and 5:18 p.m. and the rest of the India will get a chance to see the super blue blood moon between 5:18 p.m. and 6:21 p.m. The totality of the eclipse will last for about 1 hour and 16 minutes. In Asia, the last blue moon and total lunar eclipse happened on 30th of December 1982. So it is happening after 35 years for sky enthusiasts in India. And the next total lunar eclipse will be visible in India on 27th of July 2018, but it will not be a blue moon or a super moon. The event is taking place for the first time in 150 years. Let's get you all the sporting action. And ace Indian badminton players Saina Nehwal and defending champion PV Sindhu will play their first matches at the Indian Open badminton tournament in New Delhi. In the women's singles, fourth-seeded Saina Nehwal will face Denmark's Sophie Dahl in the opening round, while PV Sindhu will begin her campaign against Denmark's Natalia Rode. Among the other Indians who will play today are world number 10 HS Pranoy and Singapore Open champion Pisai Praneeth. Pranoy will play against Shreyansh Jaiswal, while Praneeth will face Rajiv Osip of England. In other matches, Kidambi Srikanth will take on Lee Chuk Yu. And ace Indian boxers Shiv Thapa, MC Mary Kom and Sarita Devi have advanced to the semi-finals of the India Open International Boxing Tournament in New Delhi. Thapa beat Cherbek Rakhmatullaev in the lightweight category. Now Thapa will face Indian rival Manish Kaushik. And compatriot K. Beena Devi 5-0. She will now face compatriot Priyanka Chaudhary. Former world and Asian champion El Sarita Devi defeated Thailand's Lawiram Paini Willai in the women's lightweight category, while former Commonwealth Games gold medalist Manoj Kumar registered a 5-0 win over compatriot Pawan Kumar to enter the semi-finals. And tennis players Sharad Kamal and Sutirtha Mukherjee have lifted the singles title in the Senior Table Tennis Nationals at Ranchi. By winning the title, Sharad Kamal has equalled Kamlesh Mehta by winning for the 8th time. Kamal has received 2 lakh rupees as prize money, while in the women's singles, Sutirtha Mukherjee beat Hyderabad Nationals winner Manika Batra 4-3. Batra has received a sum of 1.5 lakh rupees. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the first Khelo India School Games at Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium in New Delhi today. The Khelo India program has been introduced to revive the sports culture in India at the grassroots levels. There will be 199 gold, 199 silver and 275 bronze medals at stake. The week-long inaugural edition will be an under-17 event, where athletes have been invited to participate across 16 disciplines: archery, athletics, badminton, basketball, boxing, football, gymnastics, hockey, judo, kabaddi, kho-kho, shooting, swimming, volleyball, weightlifting and wrestling. The inaugural games will conclude on 8th of February. And in a series of tweets, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the event is expected to help scout young talent from the schools in various disciplines and groom them as future sports champions. He further added that the talented players identified in priority sports disciplines at various levels by a high-powered committee will be provided annual financial assistance of 5 lakh rupees per annum for 8 years. The Prime Minister also said that the game will highlight India's young sporting talent and showcase India's sports potential. And the Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports, Colonel Rajya Singh Rathore, has called the event a revolution. Rathore also sought the help and support of common people. Let's take a listen.
Thank you all of you for taking part in the first Twitter Live session for Khelo India. It's a grassroots sports revolution, and like any other revolution, it needs the support of each one of us to make it come alive. The sort of questions that came were fantastic, and it reassures us that how committed the citizens of India are towards sport. And now that this Khelo India movement is being powered by the Prime Minister, join with him to make this a people's movement. Tomorrow, watch the Khelo India School Games come alive at the Indira Gandhi National Indoor Stadium. The Prime Minister is inaugurating it, and support all the athletes with your love and affection. They are the future champions of India. Wish you all the best. Jai Hind.
And before we wrap up our bulletin, a reminder to all our viewers that it is time to get out on the field and to live the sport that you love. Here is an anthem igniting India's passion for sports, Khelo India. Thanks for watching.